When I was in 6th grade, my teacher was sleeping with my sister and they never told anyone apart from me. One day during class they said the teacher was ill, but during much they were caught in the janitor's closet having sex. The teacher got fired but my sister stayed at the school. 2 months later we got a new teacher and she started sleeping with my brother and no one knew until they accidentally set off the fire alarm whilst having sex in the assembly hall. The head teacher caught the teacher, my sister and brother having a threesome, and the teacher got fired and my siblings got expelled, so now at school everyone calls me the sister of porn stars.
When I was in 7th grade I had a history teacher who was a bad bleak. She made musicals with us all the time and she let us eat and play on our phones. The first day back from Christmas break she came in with no makeup and her glasses instead of contacts. She was wearing sweatpants with a blue shirt. We thought she was just tired until one of my friends saw she had a dark red stain on the back of her shirt. We asked if everything was okay and she just looked up, smiled and tilted her head and said go back to her fucking seats. My entire class was in shock. BC, that was creepy as hell. A few minutes went by while we were all on our phones. She looked up and told us, hey guys, be right back. After she left the classroom she never came back. None of us have seen her in 5 years. We all thought she was fired until about 2 years ago, when she was on the news. Apparently she killed and raped over 35 kids. She also killed her husband. What the actual fuck? There is no way this is real. One time in 2nd grade we would have this thing where the teacher had multiple tables. I suddenly needed to use the bathroom really badly, but every time I raised my hand the teacher never picked me, so I slowly peed a little in my pants, then a little on the floor. People started to smell it but I acted like I didn't know what it was. I kept doing this at different tables as we moved around. Then finally she picked my hand and I went to the bathroom. As I was walking there, a teacher walking with her big class saw my pee stain on my pants and so did her whole class. She called me but I acted like I didn't hear her, but she tapped on me and said you peed in your pants, and I said no, but she didn't care what I said and opens my classroom door and told my teacher. My teacher ended up finding the pee puddles all around and she told me to go to the nurse to get. Story time about the time I went to the ER. So the entire day before I had a cramp, but I thought I was just gonna get my period so I brushed it off. The next morning I woke up like 10 minutes before my school alarm with the worst fucking pain in the world, but I assumed it would go away so I went downstairs to brush my teeth, but with every minute the pain got worse. I eventually woke my mom up and told her, and she said we'd go to the doctors when they opened, but then the pain went from 0 to 100 and I literally was curled up in a ball on her bed sobbing in pain. She then said she'd take me to the ER, but the bitch decided to shower first, so I had to wait like 15 minutes for her while I was crying in pain. We finally leave and I'm still in my pajamas and I'm literally groaning in pain in the passenger seat for the 20-minute ride like a woman who's about to give birth. When we got to the ER the doctor kept asking me if I've ever had sex, and bitch I wish, but no sir, I'm saving it for Harry Styles. But he didn't believe me and my mom literally had to say that I hadn't multiple times, but the doctor was convinced I had twisted ovaries for some reason and he.
When I was about 7 years old, my parents got married and they went to a hotel for their honeymoon. When they came back, my dad had to go back to the US because of work, and one time I decided to look into my mom's drawer and saw this gummy-looking thing packed in a square. I began to chew on it every day without opening it and never told my mom. After like a week later, I then decided to tell her about it and she told me it was something for men to protect themselves from infections women can spread to them. I was really confused, so I decided to go back to her room and opened it. When I saw it looked like an eggplant, I began to chew on it once again because it was slimy and looked good until my mom came in and slapped me, then threw it away.
In kindergarten there was this fat ass in my class who we all hated. In my kindergarten class we only had one toilet that was in like a closet next to our classroom. When the fat ass, let's call her Maya, was in there, she clogged the toilet but didn't want people to know, so she tried to unclog it with her shoe, until her shoe got stuck in the toilet. We were at story time and she started pounding on the door. My teacher opened the door to find Maya still had her pants down. My teacher had to help her wipe and get her shoe out. We all saw her cooter cat. I still know her 7 years later and everyone still makes fun of her because of that. I don't have a response. Bitches be crazy. Thanks for the submission.
So I was at this party last night with some friends and this guy comes up to me and he says, "You're so beautiful." beautiful, can I have your number? And I said, no. And he said, oh, playing hard to get. And I said, no, I'm simply not interested in you. And he said, why can't you just be nice and give me your number? And I said, why did I think of that? I changed my mind all of a sudden. Of course you can have my number. Let me put it in your phone for you. And he said, really? I said, yes, but it might take a couple minutes because I'm a little drunk. And he said, take your time. Good thing I wasn't drunk because I was able to find his Venmo app right away. So I put my phone number in there, and suddenly I'm 5